Welcome to the Coaching Life Podcast. I'm Chris. Right across from me is Coach Martin, also known as Patrick Martin. And then we have a guest today, and we're really excited about the guests we have. We're always excited about our guests, but today I have reasons to be extra excited that you're here today. But I'll just tell you who she is. Her name is Kendall Hickey, and Kendall, welcome to our little show here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about Kendall, Pat. I don't know if you know this about her or not, but she is is there more than one Libero?
This year, yeah, we're doing 2.
Okay. You're the starter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on the floor a lot. That's a defensive specialist, right? The back row digging a lot of hits. The defense position, yeah. So she is a Libero on the Ohio University volleyball team. You're in your junior year, right? You're academically and athletically. And she's not only a key leader on the volleyball court, who is known for her energy and competitive drive, and you'll see that here today. I told you better bring your A game today because she's a spitfire. She's gonna bring a ball of energy here. Yeah,
I don't feel energetic this morning. So.
Right. Oh, you'll be by the time we're done with this podcast, you're gonna be ready to run through that wall because Kendall's gonna get you fired up.
All right.
So. But one of the things I'm really excited to talk with her about too is I also know she's a huge spiritual leader here on campus. There's a movement where people are curious about Jesus and curious about following the Lord and their faith. And Kendall is a leader in the women's ministry on campus called Delight. She's also a member of our church, Oasis, and just did the announcements for us a couple weeks ago, I think. When you're not able to be there as much during volleyball season, but we're going to get her singing here before long too, because she's got a great voice as well.
Awesome!
Yeah, so we're always tapping into all this talent that we've got. These multi-talented people that come from the university, but no, she's a great example of a student athlete who's been living out her faith in Christ with her team too, and we'll get into that a little bit. But really today, I mean, we just want to talk to you, Kendall, about that kind of leadership that you've been able to have here on your team as a volleyball player as well as a Christian. But just a couple things about her. I know, so your hometown is Fishers, Indiana, and that stuck out to me because I have a really good friend who lives in Fishers, Indiana. He moved. Really? I asked him yesterday. I said, "Hey, do you know Heritage Christian School?" He said, "Yeah. It's just down the road." And he said, "Ask her if she knows." And he gave me a couple of names. Let me see if I can find those really quick. If you don't, that's okay because I know it's Fishers. It's a suburb, right?
Yeah.
Big of Indianapolis. Let's see, Regan Wolf or Angie Wolf. Angie would be the school nurse, I think,
yeah.
like your two worlds just collided, right?
I was like, well, yeah, and Wolf is also like a pretty common name
there.
I would say.
So cool. Yeah. So anyway, if Steve listens all the time, and so there, I threw that in there for him.
But, right, shout out.
Yeah. So at Fishers, you were named MVP of your volleyball team in 21 and 22, and your team won a state championship.
We did my freshman year.
2A state championship in 2019. So I want to talk to you about that and that ride a little bit because this is a very timely podcast episode because Eastern, the Eagles, right? Fishers, Indiana Eagle, or the Heritage Christian Eagles.
Yep.
So the Eastern Eagles, where I coach, the volleyball team, who actually are very, very young. Sophomore heavy team, right? Sophomore, junior, freshman even. Yeah, there's a sophomore. The setter's a sophomore, and she just recorded her 1,000th set or assist. And I think in the most recent district game, they just won the district championship, and they're advancing to the regional semifinal tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, and I texted the coach and I said, I'm going to send you the link to this episode as soon as we're done. And she's really excited about it. So those girls she's going to have them listen on the way there, I guarantee
All right.
it. So it'll be fun. So no pressure or anything.
No pressure.
But yeah, just some stats here at OU too. I took some things down. In one notable thing, I thought it was a typo. Last year in your game against Toledo, you had 41 digs, is what you call them?
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
That's insane, right? Because like your high this year is like 21, which is a lot.
Yeah.
How many sets did that game?
It was
go?
a 4-set match in 41
wow.
days.
You were just all over the court.
It was wild, yeah.
Is that a record?
I think for a while it was number 1 in the MAC for a 4-set match.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
That would have been so frustrating
for
the other team.
For Toledo. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they just kept hitting it to me, so.
Yeah, just kept hitting it to
they
you.
Made it easy.
Like it just was right where you were.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but that's pretty. That's cool. So now you all know this is who we're talking to. Right? So she's everywhere on the court. Last night you played Kent State, had a win over Kent State, right?
Yep.
Won that in 3.
3.
15 digs in last night's.
Yep.
Is the whole when it's collected? Is it a game or a match?
Honestly, I don't even know the answer.
That's a great question.
Yeah,
I think they're interchangeable.
I do too.
I feel like in volleyball it really is.
Yeah, because it's and I've heard officials.
I'm glad to hear that somebody who's played all of her life doesn't know the answer to that too.
know.
So,
Match point, game point. Like I've heard both.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe a tennis player would have it's similar in tennis too, right?
Tennis is match, I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
tennis is match.
But I mean, it's set. You have sets and things, right? I don't know. But anyway, we're not here to talk about tennis. So yeah, Kendall, welcome to the Coaching Life podcast.
Thank you.
A podcast that you probably always wanted to be on.
Yes, it's an honor. It is.
Bucket list.
It really is.
That's right.
Well, let's talk about the state tournament, the state championship.
Let's go right to it.
Right to that. That's what we like to hear. Tell us about that. So you say you're a freshman when you won?
I was a freshman. Technically, I was on JV, and I was dressing varsity for that match, and they let me dress. And I got to play in a few games, but there was a rule where if you play like a certain amount of sets or points in your JV match, you can't play in the varsity match.
Yep.
So, but anyways, there was no JV match before that, obviously, because it was just like varsity going to state.
So you weren't. Let me just clarify this because I think there are listeners out there. This might be valuable to them. You are a starter for a high university D1 college volleyball team, and you did not start as a freshman on your varsity high school team.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
The reason why he paused to clarify that is because that's a big point for a lot of people who listen to our podcast are high school athletes or high school parents or parents of not high school parents who have high schoolers.
Yes.
And a sticking point for a lot of people sometimes is the whole idea of playing on the JV team is an insult to some people, I think, and
or a failure.
A failure, and it's a bizarre phenomenon that just. It's recent. When I say recent, probably the last 20 years or so. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't for you. Like, did you feel like you were a failure because you played on the JV team? I mean, I know it's frustrating. You want to be on the varsity.
It was definitely frustrating. People expected me to make varsity, and they were like, "Oh, why didn't you make varsity? You should have beat out this person or this person." And I was just like, you know what? I'm a freshman.
Yeah,
it's okay. There's so much time.
And yet, your team won the state championship.
We still won the state championship.
The coaches did something right?
I guess, yeah, and they let me go in. So
yeah, there you go.
That was crazy. I was in for a few points, and the experience as a whole is like something that's kind of incomparable, really. Just like the crowd. We played at Ball State for the state championship.
Did you?
And the crowd was huge, and there's games before us and after us for like the, I think 1A plays before us, and then we played our 2A state championship. And then there were people coming in for the 3A, and everything was behind, so it was like extra people. I don't know, the environment was awesome.
But volleyball environment's awesome anyway.
It is so cool.
I love the intensity of volleyball. It's my favorite sport to watch, but it's the most stressful sport to watch, I think.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true.
I would enjoy coaching volleyball, I think.
That last Eastern game was crazy.
Oh, I know. I was watching it. So I was watching that game. They played when the OU football was at Eastern Michigan. And so it started while the game was still going on. So I pulled my phone out, was watching the volleyball game on the sideline, and then it continued because Eastern went down the first 2 sets and looked bad in the first one. Looked bad. Yeah. Now the scores ended up being close, I think, right?
They were close.
Yeah,
they were close
so they battled back, but what was the message you sent to me yesterday? You asked somebody, what did you think? Like, what did you think was going to happen? And they were like, I think they had a chance. And then, I'll let you tell the story.
You want to tell that?
Yeah,
so, but just to pick someone's brain, because to me, it's for a player to see that for 2 sets, it didn't look like one team belonged on the floor with the other.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what were your thoughts? And they said, I didn't think they had a shot. But then, and I didn't notice this during the game, they said that they noticed that that Eastern got together and said a prayer, said a team prayer, and they came out and they looked completely different. And I said, well, what do you think that prayer did for them? Because, you know, I think sometimes the answer to that question is, well,
obviously God's an Eastern fan now.
Yeah, God's an Eastern fan. He blessed him with, you know, with superpower athleticism.
Right.
And,
Right.
But,
Yes.
you know, the answer was really good. It was, you know, I'm paraphrasing because, you know, just remembering.
Because
But
most
it was-
likely Southern prayed too before the game, right? And
Sure,
there's a lot of
yeah.
Christians on that team too, right?
Right,
And so
yeah.
God, it's not that God's going to make Eastern win because they prayed,
Right.
But what?
Yeah. But in this case, the person I was talking to said that just calmed them down and made them realize that, you know, no matter what happened, it was going to be okay. But
Yeah.
to be able to play their best, they had to have that, you know, a certain attitude in their
Yeah,
approach.
that's so true. We lost our first, like, I think we were on like 11-game losing streak. And the Lord put it on my heart to pray with my team. And I was like,
You're talking
"Can't."
about this year.
This year. And I was like, I can't do it. Like, there's hardly, like, everyone maybe would say, like, they're a Christian, and, like, everybody would be a little bit, like, I don't know, like, not necessarily living it out, I guess. But I was so
You should see
scared.
fruit. If someone says they're a Christian, you
Yes,
should see
right,
fruit.
yes. And there just isn't much of that, but we're getting there. We have a team
Yeah.
Bible study now that started a few weeks ago. And
That's
then, but on our, like, 12th game, we were playing Kent State for the first time. Tuesday match, one of my teammates has, like she transferred from there, so she has a little bit of, like, a really wanted to win that game kind of mindset.
Yeah.
It was also hard for her going back because that coach wasn't the best to her, and she just, like, really wanted to win that match. And I was like, all right, guys, we've literally tried everything. We're on an 11-game losing streak. We tried every strategy, every piece of
good way to put it.
advice,
Yeah.
everything. Like, last resort, team prayer. And everyone's like, all right. So we get in a circle in the locker room. We pray. And it was everyone. I was like, you don't have to join, but if you want to, you can. And it was everyone but 2 girls. We win the match. Next match, so first win after 11 losses. Next game, pregame prayer. Everyone joins in, and we had a recruit there. She joined in, and everyone was doing the team prayer. And then we've done it the last 6 matches, and we've won all of them except for we lost one 5-set match against Ball State, and then we swept them the next day.
Yeah.
This past weekend, and we prayed on the court during the Ball State game, and it's like crazy the way that it does, like, change the atmosphere of
Yeah.
not just even, like, within you, but, like, the crowd, like, sees that and they're like, let's go, like, yeah,
Right,
they're ready,
right.
like, calling on the Lord,
Yeah,
you know.
the perspective for you, the perspective changes,
Yeah.
right? Like it's so easy to get caught in the moment and to be worried and anxious because of the moment, and then you step back and you realize that even no matter what happens here,
Yeah,
there's a lot more going on. And,
For sure.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not that prayer becomes a formula for winning,
right,
but it's also not. It's not surprising that you started winning because you added that element of
Yeah.
The greater perspective. I think the bigger picture.
yeah. And it's cool that even the girls that, like, wouldn't even say that they're Christian or even
Sure.
believe in God are, like, still joining in the prayer, and, like, it's cool to, like, share, like, little tidbits of the gospel in the prayer
Yeah,
and just
for
be
sure.
like, thank you for dying on the cross so that we have the opportunity to play today, and just stuff like that. It's cool to be able to, like, say that stuff, and, like, they can't, like, interrupt me, you know. Like, I just say whatever I want and say amen, and, like,
it is. It's a captive audience, isn't it?
yeah, and it's just cool to talk to the Lord as my friend, and, like, they get to see a side of talking to God that maybe they've never seen before,
Right.
or it's never been demonstrated that way, that He can be your friend. You can joke with Him. You can, like, have some
Yeah.
fun. Like, He cares about little things too. So it's just cool to be able to, like, show them that while also, like, just sharing the gospel and
Right.
acknowledging God in His presence, even within volleyball. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Do you do the prayer every time, or you the
Yeah.
prayer? And no one's raised their hand. So they give it a shot.
Say, hey, wait, I want to be the next one to do this.
They're all like,
Yeah. They're letting you lead.
but yeah.
Well, so you are. I mean, you're a leader, right? On the court and in other things. So tell us what that's like. You know, what's one of the most important things that you've learned about, you know, or that or maybe one of the challenging things that, you know, you found in taking that kind of a role.
I think it's hard a lot of times when the things that my teammates like to do outside of volleyball are not things that I necessarily want to participate in. So it's like leading can seem, it's a little bit different, especially as a Christian. It's like, because you're living your life set apart and doing things different ways. So it might not be leading in the same like areas, I guess, in like the same like situations. But like on the court, it's cool to be a leader and just being an encourager and like doing the things that the Lord calls us to do. It's just being an encouragement to other people and calling people higher, whether that's character-wise or like in the sense of volleyball. Like if I know you can stuff the girl on the other side, like I'm going to let you know that you can do that next time if you get tooled. Like I'm going to just call you higher in that way. And it like is still like a leading, like a way of leading, I would say. It's just calling them higher in that way. And then also, I would say mostly I'm a very big encourager, and sometimes I get told I'm too nice on the court because I'm like, you got this, like, yay. But I guess just being an encouragement and like that keeps me like in the right mindset too, of just like putting others before myself and just feeding into them, pouring into them. And one of my teammates actually recently told me I was so nervous for the Ball State match because I had so much family and all my friends were there, and it was so fun. But I was so nervous because I was like, they've never seen me play. Like, I want to do good. And she was like, sometimes like you got to just tell yourself it's excitement and just pour into other people, and you'll forget about like how you're feeling yourself. And I was like, the way that is so biblical, and you probably have no idea, is crazy. But yeah, so just pouring into other people is honestly like a way that you can lead. And even if you're not on the court, not playing, like you can still be an encouragement to your teammates, be their biggest cheerleader. I don't know. I say encouragement is the best way to go when you like don't know how to lead by example sometimes, even though like you might have a hard game. It's like you can always encourage, you can always uplift your teammates, and
it doesn't take any talent to be able to do that.
No.
Yeah, to just choose positivity over negativity.
Just a choice,
yeah,
so,
it is. It's a choice. It's a skill also. Yeah. You got to build it.
That is true.
You got to build it. Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we mentioned that you play defense. Yes. And I'd actually like to hear you talk a little bit about what it means to commit to defense day in and day out when those aren't the stat lines that people see usually, right? That like everybody loves the hitters, right? Because they're tall and they take up more space,
right? And exactly, easier to see,
and it's flashy, right?
Yes.
It's, someone sees, you destroy somebody on the other side, and it's like, but also making a heck of a play on that back row is exciting too.
It is. I feel like our coaches do a really good job of pointing out like defensive stats, even if like. Yeah, our offensive players have a great game. Blocking wise, we have a great game. Like our coaches like never fail to point out the defense because they know that like you have to work hard too, and like the hitters don't get the chances that they have unless you get the dig or unless you pass the ball well. And volleyball is a game of serving and passing. Whoever serves and passes the best is going to win the game because it just controls the first ball.
Yep.
And,
it's like throwing and catching in our game.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Like whoever does that the best is going to win more games.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've seen that, and our team is so good at getting a first ball kill. Like if like the first chance we get, if we pass well, it's like an 80 or higher % chance that we're going to get a kill on that point. And it's cool because like our hitters will turn around and be like, great dig or great pass, and like even that just like feels good. I also like, I was thinking about this the other day. This is kind of related, kind of not. But when it comes to like the media side of any, like just even like worship nights, for example, like you have photographers, videographers, and like people on the outside don't get to see the little moments that other people might not see.
What's really happening.
There were the media people and the people like getting the content and like catching those little moments. And like, even though to the world it might not seem important, like that still makes a huge impact, is just getting the content, capturing those moments, and like seeing the little things. And even though like a crowd might not like acknowledge the defense, it's like your team does, like the people that are closest to you do.
Most to you.
And to me, that's really what matters the most. And I always write on my hand AO1, and it's just like audience of one. And so like during the national anthem, I should probably be like thinking about the national anthem, but I'm always just
Your
like
first
praying.
allegiance is to,
Yeah. And so I'm just like, and at the end I always say like, thank you for being my audience of one and the one that I'm playing for tonight. And it's just like an honor and privilege to get to play for you.
Yeah.
And then I just try to picture him in the crowd,
Yep.
like just the Lord sitting there, and like he's the only one I'm trying to please. So whether defense gets acknowledged or not, it's like it's not the eternal thing that matters. So
That's cool that you do that. It
Yeah.
reminds me. Did you know Coach Rudolph, the offensive line coach that was here, and then he went with Coach Albin to Charlotte. He's at Charlotte.
I don't think
now.
I ever met him. But
He came
I
to
do
our
know.
church, and
Okay.
he and I talked a lot before and after games. And one of the things he told me, I don't think he'd care if I shared this, but he said that he came up to me one day on the field and he said, I want to show you something. And he just like wrote the like section 4. It was a home game. And he said, every time I get into a stadium, I picture, okay, Lord, where are you sitting today? Right. Where are you sitting and watching this game?
Yeah.
And I know that because I know he's watching me. I know
Right.
that he's
He
hearing
definitely
me and
is.
everything. And he said, so I just like to physically picture where he might be.
Yeah.
And so I come in and I look up section 4, row 3. He wrote it on his tab on the marker board that he
Yeah,
sits
that's
down
so
with
cool.
and he just got emotional really when he was telling me. He said when I do that, it reminds me that it's very real. Like
Yeah.
that is the reality that he wants him to be. We want him to be. We need to recognize that he does care.
Yeah.
You know, he may not care who wins, but he does care about you because you're
Right.
playing the game and you're giving your best effort.
Yeah.
And that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm lost in this conversation.
I know, man. Yeah, we usually like to try to bounce back and forth, but sometimes when I could tell that when we like, because we're taking notes too, right
Yes.
here. Like when
Yes.
you said that it's important that your coaches point out things that nobody else points out. That's valuable to us because a lot of coaches listen to our podcast, and we need to be reminded of that. You know, football coaches need to champion their offensive line because they don't get that. Nobody else does. And baseball coaches need to champion some of those little things. You know, how often do we tell our first baseman, man, I'm really thankful for you and the way that you play, right? They aren't flashy players. They don't get to make the backhand play in the hole like a shortstop does, but that shortstop makes that play and then throws a ball and the first baseman digs it. We're like, what an awesome play that was by the shortstop.
Right.
But the first baseman also did it.
He's like, what? Yeah.
And the catcher who's back there just grinding it out but every sport has, the soccer, the defensive players rarely get the accolades.
And bench players too.
Bench players, 100%.
Oh my, yeah.
We've talked too before about schools, districts, communities win championships. Like your success is
true.
largely based upon who surrounds you. And so how do you build that? Well, you as an athlete, as a coach, you reach out and you give props to those smaller roles that are around. Maybe not have anything to do with baseball. The maintenance guys and the bus drivers and things like that.
Every little thing.
You make sure that that all comes back to a servant attitude.
Yeah, for sure. I would say our coaches also do a really good job of pointing out like the girls that might be on the bench more, and they're like, great job today. Like, we won this because of you. Or like, those cheers were fire. Keep them up. Like, everyone in the crowd like acknowledges it too and like loves it, and it's just like,
that's what it creates. It creates the winning culture.
It does. Yeah.
And we talked earlier about your positivity and maybe how sometimes you're too nice on the court. But if you would put a bench side by a bench that's positive and energetic and supportive side by side with a bench that's not. Not. I wouldn't say negative, but just doesn't have that energy.
Doesn't have that same energy.
It's a huge difference. It paints a completely different picture.
Yep.
And probably the play on the court would do that too. But I have to believe that 35 digs in, the crowd had to be pretty excited.
Because,
right. You said
was that game at home?
Yeah, it was a home game.
You said that most of the 80% of the time, if it's a good pass to the hitter, it's a hit. It's a point.
Yeah.
Which tells you how important.
That's why
that
was one in
is
4 sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how crazy that is to have that many digs. Sure. I think I could imagine that the crowd had to have been saying something.
that day may have been. Did you talk to the media after that day?
Oh yeah, they were like, "We want Kendall Hickey for an interview." I was like, "All right," but I had I didn't know until I went into the interview. They were like, "So you had 41 digs tonight?" I was like, "I did not." I was like, "There's no way."
Oh yeah, you don't think about that.
Then they were like,
I've talked to Parker before. Oh, I had 4 touchdowns today. Yeah, you did.
You did.
Right? Yeah,
exactly. I don't know. So
yeah,
even like last night, 15 digs in a 3-set match is like more than normal, and it didn't feel like that way at all. So I don't know. Just you don't really. Sometimes you don't even recognize it yourself that you might have helped the team out with your defense or whatever it is, and until somebody calls it out. So I think it is really important to have the people around you that will call that out and recognize
because we all need it.
Things.
We all you all need that fuel. Everybody does.
Yeah,
that comes from that encouragement. You told us a story about the adversity of losing 11 games in a row, and then it's like, we've tried everything else. Let's try prayer, right?
Yep.
Can you think of another, like, is there maybe another moment where, like, your leadership was tested a little bit, or maybe there was some adversity, a conflict that you had to work through yourself, but also help others, help your teammates work through as well? Like, is there anything that that comes to mind that you don't mind telling us on the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, my freshman and sophomore year, we had a pretty tough coach. He was very, very passionate about volleyball.
Sure.
And he knew a lot about volleyball. But there's just sometimes like things were said or like handled in a certain way that made it really difficult to, like, honestly just like respect him in a way, which is like, I hate saying that because I also hate not respecting people, and I would choose, like, if I could, to never. Sure,
we earn that though.
Absolutely.
Right.
And you either earn someone's respect or you earn their disrespect, their lack of it.
Yeah. And as a coach, we're always. Well, I mean, you should be, in my opinion, you should be always cognizant of maintaining that at all times.
Yeah, I would say that it's very important too, that it is something that is earned, and for a while, like, there's like a lot of flattering talk, and like, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I can trust you," and then there's like comes to a point where your actions don't line up with your words, and then it's like, I don't know if I can, or like even like preaching kindness, preaching like loving on each other, and like being a good teammate or coach or whatever, and then it comes to like a hard spot in the road, and you're not living out the things that you're constantly preaching and telling your players to do. It's like that causes us to lose a lot of respect, and I feel like there was getting to a point of it was towards the end of the season, especially last year, where like we were just all frustrated and we wanted to respect our coach, but it was really hard for us, and we all came to a point of like almost wanting to lose. Like it was like hard to stay in the season and keep going because we were like, this isn't enjoyable.
I'd rather it end.
And than keep experiencing this. So that was definitely a moment of leadership, of stepping in and being like, guys, look, like, this is when we have to step up and do this for each other. Like, we're not doing it for a coach or even like somebody outside of this team. Like, this is when we come together, do it for each other, and we play our best volleyball until the season's over. And when the season ends, we can handle the other situations going on. But like, we're all here to play volleyball. We all practice every day not to do bad in a game and like purposefully do terrible, like, just because of a coach. Like, we need to do this for each other. And I feel like honestly that was probably a big moment of adversity that we all faced as a team, and being a leader in that moment, it's like you kind of have to choose to like go down with everybody and like stay in that mindset of like, yeah, let's just lose, like that's just easier, you know, or like stepping up and being like, you know what, we can make the most out of this, and
there's a better option.
There is a better option, and let's make a choice and choose that. And take steps to doing that. And so, I would say probably, honestly, freshman and sophomore year, it was a lot of those moments of just like looking those times in the face and being like, all right, you don't get to win, and we're going to push past this and make the most out of it. So
it became a variable that you couldn't control. You talk about those things. You probably don't have it in volleyball, but sometimes when we go out on a baseball field, it's cold. Or rainy.
Right.
Or the umpire stinks. Never like
every time. I said that for the carols.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't coached a lot, but hey, I'm going to stink one day. That you're going to have to, it's just a variable that you can't control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to fight through it. But, it's funny how you say that, the way that you behave in tough situations dictates the way people think about you, because the positive way works and the negative way works both ways.
Yeah.
I think that, you're 11-game losing streak, and you gave an example of, how you serve God.
Yeah.
And I think seeing that work in that moment was important for everyone to see it. And, two people weren't involved, and they got involved when I said, hey, maybe this works. But as Christians, it's good to think and remember that, those times that are tough and when we don't want to, when it's hard to push forward, is just an opportunity for us to make a stand and to show other people the value in having a relationship with God.
Yeah.
What it brings you.
Yeah.
And I think, more than just wins or, being graced with something that you want, it's just being able to get through it.
Yep.
A lot of times is all people need to see.
Yeah.
And
because sometimes you're going to pray before every game, and you may go 0-25.
Right.
And what do you lean on? How do you get through that?
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's where that faith comes into play again.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about. Were you getting ready to say something else there?
Go ahead.
Well, your faith is intersected with your sport a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Has there been a time when God has used a challenge like that? Like, can you think of a disappointment or a challenge that you can point to and say, I know that I grew in my faith because of this?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not, because again, there's the bigger picture. The sport may not be going well, but this is something that I can look back and see God did that in me. You may not see it moving forward. I talked with a couple football players about that last week. Like, I get it, man. It's
That's
tough
the hardest
right now,
part, yeah.
right? But just keep pressing forward, because one of these days you're gonna be able to look backwards and see what God did through that.
Yeah, I would say, like, going back to, even all the way back to like my senior year of high school, I tore my ACL right before that season. So I was out my whole senior year.
Oh, wow.
And my faith actually became very real, like in that season of recovery. And not just because volleyball was pretty much my everything, like my whole identity, everything that I was known for.
We hear that a lot from our guests when we come in here.
I'm sure that's very common, especially like as an athlete. It's just like, it's what you do so often and put so much time and effort into that. It's like, that's what you start to like know yourself as even. And that's really where I was in high school. I had a big moment after I had my surgery. My dad got really sick, and then I also had a breakup. And all of those things combined, I ended up going to a worship night with my friend, and she dragged me there, and I was having like the worst week of my life, and I was like, I don't want to go. She's like, you're coming. And I was like,
I don't want to feel good.
I was just like,
right? I should feel bad right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't go. And she's like, I'm picking you up. I was like, all right. So she picked me up, and I had the craziest encounter with the Holy Spirit. And like from that day forward, my relationship with the Lord has changed completely. And that was also like the first night someone had ever prayed over me in a moment for healing in an emotional and like mental capacity, and not just like physical, but also throughout my recovery, there were also like physical healings that happened that I was so blessed by, and now is a part of my testimony that I get to share and also hold on to in moments where it does get tough. Like, and I feel like senior year prepared me so well. Like that was a lot of pruning through that season, but getting here, freshman, sophomore year, it was rough. It was really rough because I came here, didn't know anybody. Like, I'm from Indiana, and a lot of my Indiana friends at my small Christian school that I went to the same schools. And
a lot of options in Indiana.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of options in Indiana, and there's also like Liberty and Grand Canyon University, like all these really cool Christian schools that are awesome. But I chose OU, and I didn't even know about OU till I committed here for volleyball. And people were like sending me these videos about how it's like number whatever party school in Ohio, and I was like, what did I do? Like, Lord, why did I commit to this?
I mean, what? And not to change your train of thought, but like, what made you choose OU over those other schools?
Well, I came here on my visit for volleyball.
Uh-huh.
And there were two of my teammates that were Christian, and it was Caroline Clifford.
Yeah.
And
was
Charity.
here?
Yeah. And I talked to them both about
Curtis Rourke's wife is Caroline.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they would be my teammates when I came in for 2 years. Charity also 2 years, and
Brooks,
kind of
Brooks's
wife.
Yes. Brooks has sat in
The
that chair.
wives,
Curtis
yes.
has sat in that chair.
Yes.
We never did get Charity. I feel bad about that. We'll have to do it remotely.
The honorary.
That's
No,
right.
I'm just kidding. But they became like my closest friends, and they were older than me, so it was like I had them, but that was like the only community that I had here. But I chose OU because I was like, okay, there's a start, and also obviously this campus is beautiful. So came here and I like fell in love, and also I wanted a bigger like college campus feel, and I was like, the offer that I got too for volleyball was like,
that plays in.
it definitely played into the factor, because usually like my position doesn't get more than a 2-year scholarship, and they offered me 3 years here, so it was like
That's awesome.
nothing was like really comparing to that. And then
How
I got
many
here and
scholarships does
visited.
volleyball get?
I honestly don't know the
You
answer
don't
to
know?
that.
Yeah.
I think it's a certain amount of money.
It's going to depend
and
on
then
if
a
the
certain
school
amount
is
of full
fully
rides.
funded as well. But
Yeah.
I was wondering if you knew how many the NCAA allows.
I'm really not sure,
Yeah.
but
It
yeah,
changes. It's
it does
changing.
change. And like by position, usually it's like hitters will get more of a scholarship because they can play more
Yep.
positions or whatever. I'm sure it's the same with like
For other sports.
Yeah. But yeah, so that also played a big factor. And so I kind of just trusted the Lord with it, and I was
Right.
like, all right, this is where you want me, I'll go here. And then after the fact of committing here, people were like, big party school, whatever, you're going to have so much fun. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, that does not sound
I'm
fun.
going to have fun, but not the way you think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Was that
And-
was that your perception of the atmosphere when you first came? Like, aside from the folks that you relied on and your community, your small community, did you see that in the environment?
Once I got here,
Yeah.
I definitely noticed that. And even like my first night here, my teammates went out, and I was in my room by myself, and I was like, wow, this is going to be really lonely, and living set apart's not going to be easy. And for a while, I did fall into all of the stuff, because it was just like what everybody did, whatever. I felt very convicted about all of that, and the Lord changed
which is
my
good.
ways.
Yeah.
And so then Delight became what it is, and
I do want to get to Delight. I do want to talk.
Yeah.
I'll let you talk
For
about that,
sure.
because that's something else that you're very. I know it's a big. You're
Yeah.
really passionate about. But
So,
yeah, go ahead. Because there's something
Yeah.
about what she said too. That
Well, go ahead.
it may be the same thing that you have. No, you go.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
well, I was going to say from that initial experience that you had when you came here, you know, and have you seen, because they're not just I don't think it's debatable that there's a revival of Christian energy going on in the country, in the world.
Yeah.
Have you seen that on campus, like the examples of the way God has impacted students and teammates? And
100%. I think I see it most through my teammates, because I'm with them all the time, and I can see there's so much curiosity. And since we started doing that Bible study, like girls are asking, honestly, like tough questions where it's like challenging me, and I'm like,
That's awesome.
oh no, like what if I don't know the answer, but it's okay to not know the answer.
Sure.
Like you can look into it with them. And like, it's just, I feel like I think you guys mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast, just the curiosity that's like rising up right now is so cool, because God can do so much with like people with questions, and like people that want to know more. And I'm seeing so much of that within my team. And then also with Delight, it's like girls were so hungry for a community that they didn't know they could have at a college campus like this. And they are so grateful. And even just like within our leadership team, the girls are like telling me about like, they're like, thank you so much for like putting this on our campus. I was like, girl, it wasn't me. Like the Lord literally stepped in so many ways, and like just created this community that was obviously needed here. And it's all women, and it's like, you can talk about the boy stuff, you can talk about all the things you want to talk about, you can cry, you can get vulnerable, like
lay blankets on the floor.
lay blankets on the
during
floor. Yeah,
We
Keep
had
it
a worship night at our church this past Sunday, and all these Delight young ladies show up, and they cleared out the front rows and brought these blankets and
yeah, just make
laid
it
them on. I'm like,
cozy.
what are we doing there? Is this? Are we? Is this?
were your chairs dirty?
I don't know. I'm like, they're like,
like
oh,
the
that's what we do, right? And they weren't all facing the same direction, so it wasn't anything like that. It
Right.
wasn't a Mecca deal, but
It wasn't.
it's a comfort deal.
Yeah.
Mecca deal. I didn't
Just
know.
make it comfortable.
I didn't even
But
put that
so
together.
again,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a pin on Delight for a second.
Yeah.
When you talked about your recruitment and the experience that you had when you came here, and one of the things that made you choose here was the people that you connected with, particularly.
Yeah.
Do you remember 3 or 4 episodes ago, we had DC in here, Delaney Crawford, and remember his story about coming here for his recruitment from California, from Virginia. He went to Virginia, and then from Virginia he came here.
Wow.
He transferred here. The exact same thing. He said, came here, like, why Ohio? You know, he had a parent that when his dad played football here, but he's like, you know, what's going to make me want to choose here? Parker, Coleman, and then Colton, I think, had moved here too. By the time Delaney, actually Colton wasn't. I don't know, but I know Parker and Coleman connected with him, and he saw something that he wanted as well.
Yeah.
That, you know, the brotherhood of people who love Christ and are playing the sport that he loves as well, and that was instrumental in having him choose. And we heard the same thing just now from you as well. Like those recruitment trips, there's so much, because that's a question that we get a lot. You know, can you guys talk about recruiting and how to do it and everything? And we always talk about, make sure you find a school that you actually would want to go to if something happens, God forbid, you blow your knee and you can't play anymore, right? Do I still want to go to school here?
Yeah.
So you got to like the school academically. Do they have what you have? But also, are there people? Are your people there? Right? Like you found your people here.
Yeah, and it only takes like 1 or 2. And even when it comes to
that's a good point.
Definitely recruitment. It's funny, the coaches will like pick me to be on a visit if they know like some girl coming
who's a Christian
is a Christian. Yeah, they'll be like,
they do that.
Can you
They're
come
pretty
to lunch
strategic
with?
about that. Yeah.
Which is really smart. Like
it is smart. Yeah.
And also like it does like give them another perspective that maybe they wouldn't have seen if they were with everybody else and they didn't.
Well, and if you're really good at helping to recruit, then you are adding to the number of Christians on your team.
Exactly. And that's why I've also loved this Bible study too, is because like it's some of the younger girls. And I'm like, all right, when I leave, like people can take over. Yeah.
Hey, do all those girls have a Bible of their own?
I stole like 5 from church, so now they all do.
Well, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we have them there. So,
yeah,
cool.
I gave them.
You're not stealing them, by the way.
No. I'm also not borrowing them.
They're gifts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So, but I was going to say, even like the 1 or 2 when it comes to like just random evangelism on campus, it's like just an encounter with one person that loves Jesus can change somebody's life. And if we don't go out of our own way to like have those conversations and like allow people to see Jesus in ways that they might not have seen him if they were just going about their day, or like even for me, like I'm feeling very convicted about this recently, just like how I go about my day, and like when it's easy or convenient for me, like I'll go tell somebody about the Lord. But it's like maybe I'm in a hurry to get somewhere, like let's just slow down. Like somebody's eternity is worth me being uncomfortable for 30 seconds and sharing the gospel with them. And I don't know, I feel like that's just been something I've wrestled with like recently, and it just takes one conversation and one like person to love somebody well to like change somebody's life. Yeah. So, yeah.
So we've chatted with Kendall for 40 minutes. We've about volleyball. All right. Can you tell what her identity is in?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is a sports podcast. Like we've
Yeah.
been, right? But this is what it is. This is what it's about. I mean, it's not. You can't categorize. It's one of the things I'm loving about your generation is, you know, I've been able to see a few generations now. I'm Gen X. Are you Gen X, bud? What are you? Are you in between? You're not a millennial.
81.
So yeah, you're at the end of Gen X.
Yeah.
I think Gen X was like late 60s to 84.
Oh.
So you're on the tail end. You were born in 81?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Gen X. So anyway, I've seen a few generations, and I've seen a lot of. Yeah, I know exactly. You listen to Kurt Cobain and wear grunge flannels and holes in your jeans. Baggy jeans are all coming back, right?
Oh, yeah.
The big oversized sweaters and the shirts. So, but a lot of generations, people, mine included, have had a tendency to compartmentalize their lives. You got your work life, you got your family life, you got your church life, and your Christian life, and which means you develop different sets of friends, and sometimes those overlap, and sometimes when those overlap, it can be uncomfortable for somebody who compartmentalizes their life.
Right.
And one of the things I'm seeing about this generation is that they don't do that. They don't. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why it's like coaches are saying, yeah, we want a chaplain for our team, because these guys aren't scared to talk about what they believe, and it's just who they are, right? Mm-hmm. And it's I think that's one of the things that we're seeing is, no matter if you're in school, no matter what you're like, I teach a podcasting class, right? And I have 33 people in my class, and so far we've probably heard, I have them do podcast previews, which means they choose a podcast to present to the class, whatever podcast they want, right? And we probably had 17 or 18 of them so far this semester, and almost half have been a Christian podcast of some sort, right? And like, I don't know. I don't know that I would have had the courage in high school to do that, right? When I was your age, because it was I had a church life, and I had a sports life. Yeah. And sometimes those two didn't interact. We may have prayed before the game, but that was about it, right?
Mm. Yeah.
But it's deeper. And what we're seeing and hearing in you is that it can and does mesh seamlessly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. That's a good point. So you have different priorities, obviously different commitments. So the easy question is always, how difficult is it to juggle being a college student and a volleyball player? But you're not just a college student volleyball player. You're a minister.
Yeah, you're a missionary.
Can you talk about that? Like, does anything come to your mind as far as the difficulty and challenges that you face in being able to do all those things at one time?
I would say, like, it's definitely about choosing your priorities and coming to college. At first I was like, I don't know what my priorities are really going to be, because I came in with volleyball and with classes, and I was like, all right, so where am I going to, like, put my priorities at first? And I came here and I was like, okay, like, I practice this time, volleyball this time, time management is obviously huge, but then, like, you throw, like, starting a ministry and then leading that ministry, and then there's a lot of other ministry things going on campus, like the Freedom Nights. I don't know if you guys have heard about those, but that's been happening.
Combining a lot of campus ministries to put on worship events here on campus.
Yeah, and that's been going on the last 3 semesters. And, like,
you were instrumental in starting that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, when the Lord puts a lot of things on your heart, it's like you kind of have to choose what you spend the most time doing.
Kendall, you and I are kindred spirits. I do 1,000 things as well.
Yeah, but it's like
more than 1,000.
I know. But you just gotta, like, for me, God's the priority, and the rest falls from it. So when I go to class, it's like, who can I be a light to? When I go to practice, who can I be a light to? It's like you're just constantly.
But at the same time, I have to I got to be really good at volleyball, or I'm not going to be able to have that platform. I need to be a good student, or I'm not going to. And so those priorities are still high, and you do focus time on your classes
for sure.
But at the same time, but I like that it is meshing. Like,
it
because
definitely,
God's always the highest priority over all of those.
Yeah, and the rest kind of just, I guess, it sounds simple, but the rest kind of really does just fall into place. And it when God is your priority, you want to do your best in the time that you have at practice, in the time that you have getting extra reps. Like, if you have 30 extra minutes after practice, use them. Like, you can use them for the Lord. And the same with classes. If you have a paper to write to the best of your ability and do it to honor the Lord. Like, He wants our best. And so, like, that's what we can give to Him. And that's, like, so nothing compared to the fact that He died for us. So, like, let's just honor Him in our schoolwork. Let's honor Him in our time that we have of practicing. And even though it can seem overwhelming, I feel like, especially from the outside looking in, and, like, when you get caught up in like the stressors of that, like just having an eternal perspective of like, in the end, is this going to matter when I stand before the Lord? Like, truly.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
So I really just think it comes to like doing your best in the time that you have with the things that you have, and like being able to steward them well, especially in a world where we get so busy and we do take on so many things at once.
Crazy you said that, because you just posted recently on Facebook, and I don't know what the reason you posted it was. Everything you do it as if you do it for the Lord.
The Colossians 3:17.
Yeah.
I put that on. I overlaid it on a picture of the football team praying after the game at Eastern Michigan.
So it was just
It was just a passage that I selected for that photo. Yeah, but knowing the people, some of the people that were in the photo, knowing that like Parker was leading the prayer.
Yeah.
And so he was in the middle of the photo, knowing that is exactly how he lives, and that is exactly how she lives. And I know a lot of athletes that is true of them. And so that's the passage that came to mind.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
So you can. I know you got like 2 minutes before you got to roll on the run. But you lead. Not only do you lead the Delight Ministry, but you helped start it. Can you tell us what that is? For there might be some young ladies listening who are thinking about coming to Ohio University, and you can tell them about what they can get involved in.
Yeah, Delight is just a women's ministry. It's almost on 300 campuses now around.
And it wasn't at
US.
Ohio University until when?
Until second semester of my freshman year.
23?
So,
or was that spring of 24?
It'd be spring of 24.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, we just get together. We have, it's like we go through a book study each semester. There's a book that we go through, and sometimes it's topical, sometimes it's like going through a book. And this semester we're going through the book of John. It's been incredible.
Yeah.
And we'll do small groups, worship. We have events throughout the week, and we have like 2 or 3 a month that we do, and we do community events and service events and really just everything. It's just for building community purposes, I guess, and just like in the Lord, because we want the girls to have an opportunity to have that in college, which it's super special that it is like just women. Like, not like, I think crew is awesome because you can have like the guys and the girls, and like everyone can relate to each other and all these things. But then when you have like, well, I guess really all the other ministries are like co-ed, but when you have just women, it's like there's things that we can relate to each other and like talk about that maybe we can't talk about in like a co-ed setting. And it's just like, you can just be vulnerable and real.
Yeah, they could be vulnerable in that setting. They're a little more open to being vulnerable where they wouldn't necessarily in a athletes in action setting or a crew setting.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what we do. It's awesome. And it's going to feel pretty good, though. I mean, I know you don't do it for this reason, and the Apostle Paul tells us that if we're going to boast, we're going to boast in the Lord. So let's. I mean, but when you leave from here, and Delight continues, right? Like Charity, she helped start it too, right? Or I don't know how. I don't know who all was instrumental in starting it, but I thought maybe you guys. She helped, yeah.
But like when you leave, and it's still going on, you're like, that's gonna be really neat to think about, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a legacy there that you have left Ohio University.
For sure.
Besides volleyball.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think the other day I was actually just thinking about this. It made me cry because I was just thinking about like if I when I get married and have kids, and like if they come here and my daughter goes to Delight, that's just like what, like making an impact that's bigger than just yourself or just even your generation, like the generation to come after you, like that's so wild. And I was just reading in Ecclesiastes like yesterday, and it was talking about how like the things in this world are like pretty much meaningless because it all just fades away, and that's so true. But then there's also things that when you do them with the Lord, like it can have a generational impact, and that's just like wild that the Lord's allowed me to be a part of something like that, because I mean I feel like that's not very normal.
It isn't.
It's just like, it
isn't normal.
It's crazy. It like blows my mind every time I think about it. And every time I'm even just sitting in a meeting for Delight or like at an event at a worship night, and the girls come in and like you're giving them all hugs and like you know them all by name, and it's just like it's just so special to get to be a part of something like that, and for something bigger than myself or even just this year or the people that I'm around now, but for people that come after me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's great.
I told you, man. This
Yeah.
is going to be a good one.
Yeah, an hour is not long enough. We have to ask though.
Yeah,
because
we know you have
every-
to go. Yeah,
we ask. It's 12:45 now, but real quick, we ask every guest that we bring on the same question. It's, do you have a favorite memory or just something that sticks with you from your career as an athlete? We
Yeah.
didn't even talk about if you played other sports.
Do you play other sports?
Not now, but I used to
did
play.
you?
Yeah, I played soccer, basketball, gymnastics.
Oh wow,
There you go.
yeah.
I did. Yeah, a lot
So
of
is
stuff.
there a memory that sticks out in your mind from the moment that you started playing sports to now that you just would say it would be the top? I know it's difficult.
Yeah, I've been, when you guys sent me that question, I was like, I'm going to have to wrestle with that one for a second, because honestly, like, this is very recent, but like playing with my team, winning that game, I will never forget that. Like, for me, like, I was talking to Kelly from our church about this, but she, like, we were just talking about how, like, that game, yeah, we won the game, but, like, to me, the win happened before the game started. Like, the win was those girls saying yes to something they've maybe never said yes to before, or, like, seeing something maybe they've never seen before, and it had to do with, like, drawing them closer to the Lord, and it was just, like, that was a win for me. Like, if we didn't win that game, I had the win before that. And it was just like, I will never forget that. And I mean, we also talked about the state championship, which you don't forget a feeling
And
like
you weren't
that.
even playing in that.
And I was hardly even playing in it. So
You said you got in the game?
I got in for a few points.
That's awesome, though.
And
it's a freshman.
yeah, on TV, I was like, let's go. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
No,
But yeah.
that's good stuff.
Honestly, yeah, I would just even say that prayer moment was like, I will never forget that. And that's probably been one of the most, like, impactful and, like, stamped moments of my career. Because that's, like, really, like, it's just what matters
Yeah.
more than winning a game
Awesome.
or anything like that. So,
I agree.
yeah.
Thanks for coming in with us today.
Yeah.
When you play again?
We play this weekend against Central Michigan.
Thank you for squeezing some time to think about us. And just played
course.
last night.
Yeah.
You're getting toward the end of your season. Where are you guys standing right now?
I think we're in 5th. I haven't looked since
How many teams go to the next?
6.
All right.
But we started off really bad. But
Yeah, you weren't in.
We're on the up, and yeah, we definitely were not in it at the beginning. And now I think we're 5th after a win last night. I don't know if that moves us up or not.
How many more do you have to clinch a spot? You still have quite a few games left? Matches
We
left?
play Central this weekend, NIU the next weekend, and then we play Western at home, and then it's the MAC tournament. So
Also 3 more MAC games.
yeah, wild getting
yeah.
to the end. So yeah,
And where's
but
the tournament?
it's at Bowling Green this year. So yeah, we'll have to travel to the orange and brown, but
Yeah. Being in it, though, would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Get there. Good luck.
thank you. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, thanks,
excited.
Kendall, for.
Yeah.
I love the Ephesians 2 reference to on your shirt there. So, two of the greatest words that anyone will ever hear.
I love it.
This
yeah.
is who I was.
But God,
Yeah,
it's so true. Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
absolutely.
Our pleasure.
Awesome.